Do you want to play a hero that can A. Carry the game, B. Is flexible to be a support, a tank, and a really impactful pick for solo MMR, C. Can farm the game in peace and still be useful, D. Is an underpicked hero so you have an advantage against inexperienced people, or E. All of the above? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then boy do we have a great pick for you. Patch 7.02 brought about a new talent change, and today we'll be talking about one of the oldest heroes in the game that got a whole new interesting set of talent choices. I'm Pao from WomboXCombo, and welcome to Nice Assist, the show where we take a look at some interesting trends on Dota to help you pick the right hero on your way up the rank ladder. As a general reminder, these are all trends taken from games of Dota 2. If you want to experience success, playing a hero you're comfortable with, or just plain practicing the ins and outs of a hero or strategy, will help you win more games than just trying out the latest builds. And with that, let's get started. Today, we'll be talking about Doom. Everyone remembers Doom, right? One of Dota's oldest heroes got a rework earlier this season with Infernal Blade being introduced. In the past, Doom has always been a strong pick, mostly because of his ultimate, uncleverly named, well, Doom. Doom is a great hero pick that has the power to turn entire heroes into creeps with just one skill, as they take away their ability to cast skills. But in recent years, Doom has been consistently nerfed just outside the realm of playability. His armor and mana values have been lowered so much that it's harder to get far in the game with him, especially if you're not experienced. But 7.02 gave him a new set of toys to play with, that, when combined with other innovations from the patch, make Doom a great choice to take with you in your MMR games. Before we begin, however, this week we won't be going too much into the numbers. In the C region, for example, his win rate is just above 45% in the 3K to 4K MMR bracket. But that's the thing about numbers. If you look at them without context, it can be hard to learn anything from them. We have to take into account that Doom might not have been discovered yet by the public, which will explain his low-performing numbers. But believe me, pro teams, in-house leagues, and scrim lobbies are testing him out just because of how powerful his new talents are, especially the level 10 and level 15. So instead of starting with skills this week, let's take a look at his talents. At level 10, Doom gets access to the plus 80 Devour Gold talent. This is honestly such a big change that by itself should already arouse your interest. At level 4, Devour gives you a base amount of plus 100 gold on top of the gold that creep will give you, with a cooldown of 40 seconds, on top of the other skills that will be transferred to you depending on the creep you dominate from the jungle. Our friends from Dota Buff calculated the gold per minute of Devour at level 4 with the new talent, and it comes out to about 270 gold per minute. Meanwhile, Hand of Midas gives you about 114 gold per minute because it has such a long cooldown at 100 seconds. Between those options, the Devour skill gives you the functionality of Helm of the Dominator and Midas. That's a lot of value. But beyond just the gold, the level 15 talent also gives Doom a big piece of technology to work with. Plus 15 Scorched Earth damage and healing will give Doom a bonus total of plus 55 damage AoE ability with move speed and regeneration on top of that. Those are some crazy numbers. Just take a look at this clip of a Doom with very affordable items and the amount of regeneration he can get at level 9. That looked a lot like a regen rune, didn't it? Now imagine that but in the middle of a team fight. Yeah, I know. We were scared too. From there, you have other bread and butter skills. Infernal Blade is a melee range stun that gives a burn damage equal to a percentage of the target's base HP, damaging them, and of course, the ubiquitous Doom. Because of the utility in his spells, it isn't uncommon to find Doom in the supportive or core roles in any MMR bracket. He's just that flexible. Commonly, you'll see him either as a support or an offlaner, but a tri-lane isn't that far off for him as well. All in all, with just these two talent upgrades, Doom is looking pretty good to bring to solo MMR games. The build. Today, we'll be focusing on a more flexible build for Doom. In the next section, we'll talk about the laning choices, but for now, let's stick with your items and skills. There are two main ways to start off with Doom. The first build we recommend for players looking to go support, although in my opinion, this is the better way to play Doom in solo MMR. Starting off with an early Iron Talon and some regen items, you want to bring Doom into the jungle for the early levels. You'll want to immediately build towards your green boots for the move speed and the regeneration, while also picking up armor items for your Vladimirs or your Helm of the Dominator, depending on your playstyle. Remember, one of Doom's primary weaknesses is his lack of armor, making him squishy in the early game despite being a strength hero. By placing yourself in the jungle and building for efficient clearing and armor, you can easily participate in fights once you have some of those armor values and a good creep skill like Purge or Mud Golem Stun to gank for your laners. Another early item build is for people going for a more off-laner approach. In this situation, stocking up on a lot of regeneration and stout shield can help you survive the lane harassment. If the lane is really hard, consider going for Iron Talon and heading to the jungle and abandoning the lane instead. Mid-game for a supportive Doom is the best time of year. You should aim to complete your green boots by 4 minutes through creeping and pulling waves for your laners. You can go for a lane gank depending on your creep choice, but I personally prefer to go to level 6 first as fast as possible so that I have access to Doom. After green boots, you should start aiming for your Helm or Vladimirs. I choose Vladimirs if I'm expected to gank repeatedly, as the bonus mana is great on Doom, especially if you remember to build Basilius first, while I pick Helm of the Dominator for more teamfight oriented lineups. The plus 8 regeneration plus the regeneration on Scorched Earth reaches up to plus 50 health per second before you even apply the talent buffs. At mid-game, equipped with the 80 Devour Gold, you should also be going for a Blink Dagger. These are your core mid-game items to help your team. If you're on the offlane role, Blink Dagger buildup is also key, but you can also skip that entirely and go for tankier items to help frontline for your team. Shiva's Guard fixes all of Doom's weaknesses, providing plus mana and plus armor, so getting it after you've saved up for your core boots will give you a completion time of about 15 to 18 minutes, a great item timing for Shiva's Guard. Aghanim should still be completed eventually, as it greatly increases Doom effectiveness by resetting the duration anytime you're within 900 range, combined with the move speed of Scorched Earth, and you can see where we're going with this. For the skill build, maxing Devour first and Scorched Earth second while getting Infernal Blade at 3 and Doom whenever should be your core. However, you could also max Scorched Earth depending on if you're going for that offlane role and you need the regeneration and the move speed to get away. For the talents, the level 10 talent should almost always be the Devour Gold, but the 250 health should also give you some value, especially if you're in that core offlaner. The Scorched Earth upgrade, however, is far and away the best choice at level 15. Level 20 is almost a toss-up, as the plus 25 regen actually stacks well with the Scorched Earth regeneration and Helm build. However, you could also get more DPS on Doom. Level 25 is more of a fun pick that honestly doesn't give you that big of an impact, but the ability to devour creeps is also a lot of fun. Dragon creeps give you a Battle Fury effect, Thunder Lizards increase your DPS, while the Granite Golems give you plus 15% HP. How to play. Playing Doom is about picking the right lane and the right item build to complement your team. We talked about Doom fitting into an off-lane or support role, but how exactly do you choose? Sometimes, in solo MMR, we tend to decide what role we're playing even before the game begins. I want a mid today, or I want to carry. While there's benefit in playing a role you're good at, sometimes you don't get that chance, especially in ranked. I know, I've played games where I've called for mid and instantly someone auto-picks a sniper. It's one of those things. That's why it's so important to learn a flexible hero like Doom. Don't have a carry after the picks are over? transition Doom into that role. No tank? No problem. No support? Well, time to buy wards. Always keep in mind two things that make Doom hard to play: the lack of armor and the lack of mana. If you see the other team going for a lot of physical or ranged damage dealers, consider not going for the offlane role and instead playing support for your team. That way, you can dodge the bad lane matchup that might end up crushing you and turning you into a burden for your team. If, however, you see a lot of sustained magic damage from the other team like a Jakiro, consider playing offlane and skilling up Scorched Earth to tank the damage and then quietly regen everything back with just one button press. Past the decision-making process, however, playing Doom is all about learning how to efficiently jungle. Say you're starting from the Radiant side. Here's how you jungle with Doom. First, get the bounty rune as soon as it spawns, and immediately complete the jungle camps right beside it. Skill Devour first to make the process easier, making sure that you devour the creep that gives you the best skills to help you clear the jungle. You should be done by about a minute and 20 seconds. Next, clear the camps nearest the Radiant Tier 2. You should clear it by about 2 minutes exactly, just in time to pick up another bounty rune. Remember, use your creep skills, earn from Devour to help you clear. At level 2, pick up Scorched Earth and activate it to help you farm the medium camp near the shrine after you pick up the bounty rune. Ask your mid laner for permission to use the shrine, as you can then use it with conjunction of Scorched Earth to help keep you in top shape while you clear the rest of the jungle. Aim for a third camp clear by 3 minutes, which means the camp closest to the bounty rune is available once again. Repeat this as necessary, doing it as efficiently as you can by practicing. This can all come together and help you become such a bigger force for your team despite being just a support. In the offlane, play it like you would any melee hero, but remember that you are way squishier to physical damage. Abuse the Fog of War like in our PA video, and make sure to use Scorched Earth to get away safely and regen any damage coming your way. Varying Clarities to help sustain your mana will help you survive in a big way. In fights, remember that your role is to doom the priority target, usually a core hero based on spells like a Lina, or a high-impact support like Dazzle or Oracle. Aim for a Blink Dagger to get yourself into the backline, to throw down a Doom, and then proceed to Scorched Earth your way to victory. Easy. For some extra things to remember that an upgraded Doom resets within 900 AoE. Use your Scorched Earth to your advantage and you'll be the scourge of any team fight, weaving your way in and out of the battle to reset the Doom on that target until they die. Also, be strategic with your Devour targets. It can be sexy to use Devour every time for the gold, but sometimes a useful creep ability is worth more than an extra amount of gold. Our favorites are the Purge abilities and the Hellfire Satyr's Regeneration Aura. Speaking of some dispels, remember that Doom is in itself a dispel ability. Don't be afraid to use it to take off buffs on core heroes in fights, such as Bloodlust from Ogre Magi. Remember, Doom is a great hero right now because of the new talent system. He can easily regen damage and deal damage within fights while also having a flexible role in teams. That's a recipe for a perfect hero for solo queue. But that doesn't mean that Doom is unstoppable. Big physical damage lineups still tear through him, so be careful when going up against a Drow Ranger or a really good Juggernaut or PA. Remember, Doom has incredible gold abilities this patch, so use that to your advantage. Buy the right item to help you win the game. $dollar bills, y'all. $dollar bills. Conclusion. Doom is a great hero right now thanks to the brand new talent buffs. Able to fill the role of core, tank, or support, Lucifer is a great pick for those times when you just can't have your way in ranked games. You've never laughed as maniacally as possible until you've seen your HP bar go from 0 to full within seconds inside of a teamfight. As always, our guides are here mostly to help you get started, but always feel free to change it up according to your experiences. I've been Pal from WomboXCombo, and we'll see you next week.